Hi everyone, this is the National Master Alessandro Santagati. I'm happy to analyze in this video the game that sent me Carlos Serrano on chess.com. She played against the National Master Bill Richards. I think it was a sim in which she won with black. And okay, we can go to the game. So white played knight f3 and now d6. Okay, it's clear that in this kind of position the d6 is correct, but it's clear you can play all two moves, so it's also possible knight f6, but d6 is correct, so we can go forward. So g3, c6, and bishop g2, queen c7. Okay, I think d6 and c6 are good, but I'm not so sure why the black has to move the queen immediately to c7, because if you move queen c7, I think the idea is take the square or cover the square with more pieces. So why take, for example, the square with the queen and not with the knight? Or why, for example, don't push immediately the pawn? So queen c7 is not so good because usually it's not a good idea move early the queen. So I think queen c7 is a little mistake. So we can go forward, castle e5. Because you can play this move e5 without the queen on c7. Okay, d3, you played bishop g4, and I think bishop g4 is okay, because in this kind of position, this bishop is not so strong, so it can be a good idea to make pressure, and in the future, if the white will attack this bishop, you can choose or go back to h5, or to e6, or trade. So you can take a choice ladder. Okay, so this c3, and now knight d7 is correct, queen c2. And again, I don't like this move for white, because why the white has to move queen c2? If the white want to push, can push immediately the pawn, or can play h3 for example. So I don't like this move this time, because the white now has a lot of choices, so I don't understand why the white has to move the queen. Okay, so queen c2, castle. Okay, I think it's an interesting move, castle, because you play to attack, so the idea is nice. b4, and now the white try to attack, because we know that in this position, we have to break points. We know that the white has to break the castle on b5, because the more advanced pawn on the queen side for black is the pawn c6. So the idea must be attacking this way. And where the black has to attack is clear on the king side, and the right point is h4. So h4, h4, and the square is g3. So the idea would be try to do that, try to open the h file, and try to break the enemy castle. So we know that white has to go to b5, and the black has to go to h4. So b4 is correct, because the idea is play b5. Maybe not b5 immediately, but the white can help his attack with a4 and then the push, for example b5. h5, yes, I think is okay. White played a4, and now bishop e7. Yes, I think bishop e7 is important because you need help to push. So the bishop can help the push on h4, so played well. And now knight d2, g5. Okay, I think your move is not bad. In theory, I think you can push immediately on h4, but your move is correct. So this attack is correct. So g5 with the idea to push on h4, and now knight c4. In this kind of position, when I play this kind of position, if I can, I like to attack immediately. So I don't like now for white knight c4. I think the best move could be b5 to attack immediately the castle. Because, for example, play b5, now you make a lot of problems, because now the black has to choose about what to do. And if the black moves c5 to block the position, now knight c4 is stronger because there is the square weak. So I can also think in this way. Yeah, I think b5 was better, because in this kind of position it's important to attack as soon as possible, and with the move b5 for black could be harder find an answer to this move. So b5 was better, but he played c4, and now he played this move. I think it's okay. You remove the unimportant defender. A nice idea this. And now g4. Okay, g4 is okay. In theory, another option could be f5. With the idea to push g4 and push h4. A little problem about g4 is that after bishop g2 and h4, the white can have a nice attack with this move. And yes, the position is playable, but now you don't have enough pieces to attack the king side probably, because the white has the knight, the queen, the rook that can help immediately, and at this time you have only the rook, so probably this attack is stronger for white. We can see, because if you play f5, for example, and not g4, the white can attack with b5, but now you can try to block the diagonal with this move, with e5, and then, for example, e4, and in this way, maybe your castle can be safe, because if this move, now you can take with your pawn, and the knight has to go back, so for example, knight d2, and now your pawns are very strong, you can try to attack because now you have space, and maybe you can try to push immediately e4 to... Now this bishop is passive, so the black position is nice. Okay, this can be an idea, but your idea is not so wrong, but probably the white after that can be slightly better, because the white has more pieces to attack. Okay, so now bishop e3, and I think it was another mistake, because the white wait to attack, but the white has to push immediately, because in this kind of position it's important to attack as soon as possible. So if you have a good move to attack, is a very best thing, wait. Okay, so bishop e3, f5. Another option can be open immediately the diagonal, but at this time the black has not enough pieces, so can be also okay play f5. And now rook c1. And now the black takes is okay. And now d5. Yeah, I like this move, because with d5, this knight now has no good squares, so you force an attacker to go back, and at the same time, the next move we can do f4 to attack. Yeah, so I like d5. Yeah, very nice move for black. Knight d2, and now f4. Good. Bishop a2, the bishop has to go back. Okay, what happens if the white takes the pawn? The black can also play this move, and now the bishop is trapped. Yes, probably the white can have a compensation for the bishop, but I think the black can defend this position after that. So it's very, very dangerous for white takes the pawn a7. For this reason, the white played bishop f2, and now bishop g5. Another idea can be try to develop the knight. For example, we must understand if it's possible knight f6. Can be an idea, but bishop g5 is not bad, because in this position, we must think in this way. We must think that when we make an attack, we need attackers. So what's the best attacker in general? The best attacker is the queen. So bishop g5 can be interesting, because this bishop now is passive. So you free the 7 rank, and maybe in the future you can try to play this move to attack the castle. So I think this move is nice for this reason, because if you think in this way, and you focus attention about the attackers, and you focus attention about the queen, this move can be interesting. Another move maybe can be queen d6 now, for example. I think this move can be interesting, because the same idea, maybe you can do the same thing before in this way. So probably queen d6 was slightly better. So bishop g5, and now rook b1, but now probably the black is better because his attack is stronger, and now black can take, and now bishop f4. Maybe here is also interesting to see what happened after bishop e3, because what happened if king h1. Now we can go back, and in this position is slightly different, because yeah, okay, the white has to go back on g1, because if the white takes, you can take it with a pawn, and now it's very hard to defend this pawn because you can try to push this pawn g5, and h2 is very, very weak after that. So yeah, probably can be an interesting move, bishop e3 followed by bishop f4, but bishop f4 is okay. Now knight f1. Yes, knight f1 now is good because now the white has to defend this position, so knight f1 is important. Black trades. And now queen b6. I think that now an interesting idea can be block the king. So a black idea can be block the king and then try to go in this way to mate, or not now because there is the knight, but we can also try to remove this knight and then try to go on h2 or try to attack on f2. But rook f8 can be important, is to block, but is to take this square. And yes, I think it can be an interesting idea. Black played queen b6, and now e3 is forced, and now d5, d4. Okay, maybe now the white can try to counter-attack, because I think d4 was a mistake with the queen b6, because in this way you give the move a5 for free, and the white has the time to counter-attack. We can see it, because after queen b6 and d4, it's possible play for white this move. The queen has to go back, and now I think b5 to break the castle. b5, for example, to break the castle, and yes, after that the white has a nice counter-attack, also because it's possible a6, and the black can have problem now. So yes, queen b6 was a mistake for this reason, because it's not a good square for the queen. Maybe queen d6 again, with a simple idea to go in the square or to double the pieces in the f file. Maybe it's a little better. Okay, so you play queen b6, d4, but now the white played this move. He takes e4, and it's a mistake for white. You take, and now c4, and now rook f8 I think is okay. And after c5, you have the time to bring the queen back, and now you can see the square g3, the square e3 weak, so can be a good position. So queen e5. Okay, in this game I think you had a problem, because for all the game you played without this knight. So maybe now was the time to use this knight, is to defend and is to attack. This knight on e7 can help, is to defend the square c6, and in theory can also help to attack, because the square is possible to attack the square g3. So now I think move the knight was better. Queen e5, and now b takes c, and bishop takes c6. Queen h5, and now bishop g2. Now I think the white is better, because your king is very weak now, so the black position now is very bad, because the black castle is completely broken. So yeah, after this move, queen h5, in theory the white can simply play queen b2, because his castle is defended by the knight, by the bishop, so the white can play in this way, and if the black sacrifice, I can simply retake with the rook, because my queen can take the square h2. So this sacrifice doesn't work. And now it's very hard for black to defend this position, because queen b7 is impossible to stop, I think. Okay, so yes, it was a black mistake. Queen e5. Now the white is better. And knight e5. Again, there was queen b2 to attack king immediately, but the white didn't see it and played this move. And after king c7, now the black can have a counter attack, queen g2, and now, yeah, the move queen g2 was the final mistake for white, because now in theory the black can play this move. Knight f3 is very strong, because what happened? If the white move king f2, the black can simply take the queen, because it's a discord attack the queen. The next move I will take the white queen. And what happened? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake with the board, so I can go back. So bishop g2, queen g2. Okay, so I said after this move, if the white takes with bishop, I can simply take with the pawn. Now the queen is under attack, so if the queen goes to f2, there is checkmate. So now the black is winning. Yeah, it was a very important mistake for white. He played queen g2 and now the white lose the game. Maybe, okay, now I think the white position is very hard. And maybe the white can try again queen b2. Because now if knight f3, the white can defend this position because can take and then the white can attack with his queen. So at this attack is very important because it can help also for the defense. Okay, so can go back. So but white played this move. Black didn't see this move, and black played 97 now. Bishop b4, and now okay, there is the same idea. So check on f3, and the white has to take. The black can take with the pawn, and after queen h2, easily f2, and then queen f3 checkmate. Yeah, I think it was a very interesting game, a nice attack, but the black made some mistake that we can avoid, I think. His attack was good, but remember to try to use all the pieces to attack. So for example, after f5, okay, bishop g5 was nice, but when we have this position, try to focus attention about move like 97, for example, because if you want to bring the queen in this file, you can use this maneuver, and the knight on e7 can help is to defend, is to attack, for example. So in general, develop all the pieces is important when you have the idea to make a good attack. So I think it was an important mistake. And then the other important mistake for black was queen b6, because in this way the black gives the chance to counterattack for white with the idea a5. This move is very good because in this way the white can break the black castle, and it's an important problem. Okay, it's all for this video. Thanks for the attention. See you for the next. Bye. Remember to follow me on social networks and share the video with your friends. Thanks.